I'm 100% sure that each filmmaker's dream is to achieve the most cinematic shots in their movie. But let me tell you a secret, you don't need any cinema camera or film camera to achieve that beautiful film. You just need the Dehancer plugin. Also, if you're using coupon code Alexophonia, you can get an exclusive 10% off your purchase. So let's get started to create some amazing cinematic dramas. Alright, we're back and I already have some footage imported into Final Cut Pro and already put into a timeline. I also already processed the raw footage and tweaked a bit the settings and converted to Rec 709. So I can just simply search for Dehancer when I go down to film emulators and simply drag and drop it here. As said, this footage is already Rec 709, but by far my absolute favorite feature of the Dehancer plugin is that I'm able to just choose my own camera, and as you see I have a bunch of presets for any type of camera. But my workflow is that at first I just tweak a bit the raw settings and then convert it to Rec 709. It's just my personal choice. After that, I could just tweak a bit the exposure, maybe I can bring it slightly down, it's a bit too yellowish, so maybe for some drama scene I can put it just slightly towards blue and the tint maybe slightly to a green. I personally love this greenish bluish, maybe with a slight bit of yellow tone for some sci-fi, maybe horror and even drama look. It's my personal favorite type. Now from the film profile I can choose the film profile, yeah, pretty easy. So, and now I could just start looking a bit for some various types of films depending on my story. For now I'm just gonna stick to the Fujifilm Instrux for this example, and I find it's pretty good for the look I want to tell. It's something a bit not too really saturated, that tells a really good story for a drama movie in my opinion. So I could just have it like this and it already looks like film. So that's the amazing part of Dehancer. I made a few clicks and it's already looking like film. That's absolutely amazing. Now I'm just gonna tweak some settings of the film developer. My personal rule of thumb here is just to play around depending on the shot, depending on the story. So there's not a really known rule on how you could apply this, but it's just depending on your preferences and most importantly depending on your story. Alright, now after some really basic tweaking I've done, yeah, really basic, now the real magic starts to happen on Dehancer. So we can choose the film grain. I personally love this option that is not like just putting, that is not like overlaying some stock footage of some basic film grain over your footage. I like the fact that you can choose the right type of film. I personally wouldn't choose too much noise. So depending on the ISO, if you have a lower ISO then you have less noise, and if you have more ISO then more noise. So it's exactly like on the digital camera, but here we're shooting on film. Let's call it something like digital film. Then we have halation and bloom that both work together, so they both add some glowy look around your highlights. That looks pretty good depending on the scene. In my opinion, for a drama movie this wouldn't look really amazing because we're telling some harsh story for example, and then a bloomy, a glowy look wouldn't fit so well in my opinion. But for now I'm just gonna leave them like this, but you can see right now a difference between the two shots, one with halation and bloom turned on and the other one with none. They both do the same effect, but in the film world they are caused by various aspects. Then we have the options for film damage, film breath and gate wave. This again in my opinion work together, although they do various different stuff, but they both add some oldish look. So for example, if I would like this shot that I'm right now shooting to look like it is old, it is from some old movie, I could add the film damage because it creates that typical old stock film look. Also the film breath, it creates the effect that it's projected, as you see right now. So if I enable this, For example, for this particular case where, as you see, we have an old man, some old house and something like this, it fits really well with the story to have this oldish look. And the gate wave just adds a bit of wiggling to the film, the same effect as if it would be projected. Then we have the option for overscan, that if I want to really amplify the aspect that this movie was shot on old film stock, I could just enable this, and it would really sell the effect that it was actually shot on some old film camera. But for now I would like this to be some oldish modern look. I personally love these kinds of films, and I would just leave it like this. Lastly, we can add a vignette, and I like the fact that there are so many options, not just a simple vignette. But for this particular case, I would leave it like this. My by far favorite option comes only right now, because we have this option for monitor, where I could choose to enable looking for false color. For cinema cameras, for example, you can expose with a histogram, as with all other cameras. But the cinema cameras and also some other high-end cameras also have the false color options, which allows you to see your image in this weird way, so that we see the various parts that are exposed. As a rule of thumb, the best exposed parts are actually the parts that are in the middle. So here in Dehancer's case, we have this greenish, maybe pink look, and as you see, the face of the character is indeed green. But because we have a drama movie, we can still leave most of his face darken. This of course depends on the story, but because right now I chose to shoot some drama, yes, this fits amazing to have part of his face as you see in the blue type, so in the bit underexposed part, just slightly underexposed, but still we have a bunch of parts in the image that are correctly exposed, and this fits best for this particular use case in a drama scene, something like horror-ish maybe, so to have it slightly a bit underexposed, maybe a bit more mysterious or something like that. So I love the fact that I can always see on the false colors while I'm color grading to check if everything is going well. Then we have the option for output that lets me choose how much of the impact I want to have. So for example, if I want to have 100% of the film look, or maybe just slightly a bit of film look. And lastly, I can generate a lot, again a very useful option, so that I can just reuse it for various other aspects. Alright, so that's about it with creating some really cinematic film look with Dehancer. I really love this plugin and really recommend it to you guys. And as said, using the coupon code Alexophonia, you can get an exclusive 10% off your purchase. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you learned something new. Thank you to our sponsor Dehancer, who made this video possible. And as always, keep experimenting and stay creative.